There are over 3 million applications on the Google App Store alone, and lots more on the Apple Store. And you're asking yourself, should I build another application on the stores? Meanwhile, there's Amazon Store, and there are many other independent stores to think about, right? And you're always asking yourself, should I build application on this store? Today, I want to answer the question, should you build a mobile application or should you build a web application with Flutterflow as a solopreneur? Thank you very much for joining today. My name is Paul. I help solopreneurs build and launch profitable products with Flutterflow. So today, I want to address this issue. Should I build a mobile application or should I build a web application? You know, at the agency, our design studio, we have a whole lot of persons coming to us and they're asking, and they just say right off the bat, hey, Paul, I want to build a mobile application, right? I want to build a mobile application. I want to build a mobile application. But a lot of times, what you need might not be a mobile application. It might be a web application, and that's what your customers are looking for, right? So I see that a lot of persons get to build a mobile application. They launch it on the App Store, and at the end, they don't have anybody using it, irrespective of the traffic. They try to pull to that to get people to start using the application, right? So there are a couple of questions that you must ask yourself before you decide if it's going to be a mobile application or if it's going to be a web application. Number one, you have to ask yourself, what's my business strategy and what's my business model? It's very important to know what's your business strategy and what's your business model. Who are you looking forward to reaching? Who are you building this product for? Because even if it's a web app, it's a product. If it's a mobile app, it's a product, and you're building it for someone. People are not just going to jump on your mobile application because they want to do something once in a year or because they want to do something once in a month, right? It has to be something they must perform using their mobile phone. That is very convenient on their mobile phone before you go ahead and build mobile applications. Right? What's my business strategy? What's my business model? And who am I building this for? That's what's going to inform the platform that you choose. For example, if you're building a software as a service, of course, almost everything is a software as a service on mobile and on desktop. So if you're building a software as a service that just help business automate, that help business automate stuff. For example, I'm currently building an app that allow business to find premium houses around their locality, probably expensive houses around their locality. So I wouldn't make that a mobile application. Why? Because people get to find houses once in a while. People don't get to find house today, find another house today, find another house tomorrow. They find houses once in a while. But if I was building an app for my college friends, for my college, of course, I will want to build a mobile application, but because it's real-time. Communication have to be real-time, notification have to be real-time, sending messages, chatting has to be real-time, looking at my coursework has to be real-time. This is something that I do every day. And so if it's a mobile application, of course, I'm not going to complain. So another thing to consider is that mobile application gives you the ability to integrate natively to mobile apps. One thing to understand again is that mobile application gives you the opportunity to integrate natively on mobile phones, right? So if, for example, if you're building a hair tracker or you're building something that allows people to keep fit, then you want to build a mobile app because it will allow you to integrate natively to the core of the application. So if you're thinking of building like a fitness tracker, a sleep tracker, meditation application, things that you have to communicate with the phone in order for you to see results, right? Then you want to build a mobile application. When it comes to choosing between mobile and web application, there are pros and there are cons, right? Flutterflow, of course, is a tool that will enable you to build both web and mobile application, but you have to think about these cons and these pros. But I would say that you must know for you before you decide to build a mobile application or build a web application is to ask yourself, what's my business model? What's my business strategy? And who exactly am I building for? It's your business model, your business strategy, and your customer persona that will determine what kind of application you end up building and on what platform you decide to build it. If you're building something that requires real-time communication, that requires you to use native features of the application, that requires you to that requires your users or your customers to be actively participate in something, then you want to build a mobile application. But if it's something that does not require real time, your customers can log off, go back and check. That's something that you want to do. You want to build a web application, something that relies on browser in order to perform, right? Some reason why you should build a mobile application is because when it's offline, you can still communicate with that with your application offline. Number two, it's really, really fast. Number three, you have control over security. And number four, you have control over communications. Mobile application can really, 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 really take your communication to another level. But one of the cons of building mobile application is that it's pretty pricey. Mobile applications are pretty pricey, and also it is platform specific. But glad that a platform like Flutterflow allows you to build for Android and iOS at the same time with the Flutter and that framework, which is super, super awesome, right? For Flutterflow, you can build for Android, you can build for iOS, and any other platform that you choose. If you decide to go with web application, some of the pros will include that it is easier to build, it is more accessible. Remember, almost everybody that own a laptop or phone has a browser. So it is easy for you to access a web application using a browser, right? Everybody and anyone can access it. You can target people without phones, and you can target people with phones, and they all can access it. You can build B2B, you can build B2C with your web application. And another thing to know, aside being affordable and being accessible, is that you can update as fast as possible. If you want to update your iOS app or your Android application, it takes a whole lot of checks. For example, even getting your application approved by iOS and Google, you have to go through some routine checks. I've had an app rejected twice now, and I've made corrections and submitted it for the third time, and I'm hoping that Google they're gonna approve it this time. So you see, if you're doing something and you need updates, you want to make regular updates, and you do not need any of those approval trouble, then a web app is something that you should do. If you decide to stick with web app, of course, there's going to be some cons. One, it's slower, right? It's slower. Number two, you have less control. And number four, you have less integrations. All those integrations that you have to do with your mobile app, you can't do it on the web app. It's difficult for you to do it on your web app because it's different platforms entirely. Here's a pro tip. If you're building for a large market, you're building for places like India, you're building for places like Nigeria and Africa, you're building for very, very populous nations that are not very, very wealthy. It is very important that you build a mobile app because mobile app penetration in these areas, it's very, very, very high. For example, if I'm launching a product in Nigeria, of course, I'm going to build a mobile application because penetration is very, very good. And I have a whole lot of people who uses mobile phones. In fact, 93% of people in Nigeria use mobile phones, and only 7% of those persons use laptops. That means I will have to build for mobile if I want to make very, very good impact for my business. That's something you have to consider as a solopreneur if you're looking forward to building your app for the web or for mobile stores. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you're looking forward to building your app as a solopreneur and you want to launch a very profitable business, you can click on the link below, and I'll do well to have a call with you to discuss how we can help you launch that product as fast as possible. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a different video. Until then, keep building and keep launching your dreams.